Hello, and welcome to the Flowers in the Wild. I am your host, Ajna Flowers, and Ravina Wyld is not with us again today as she is still recovering and resting and getting herself back to her best health and getting her energy back. So, my guest today is going to be my husband, Jack, off camera because he said he would be on camera, but then when I offered to let him be off camera, he seemed to be more enthusiastic about that. So, because I want to kind of lighten the mood a little bit and give you a little idea of who Ajna Flowers is, today we are going to do something called 10 Things to Know About Ajna Flowers. Jack will be reading the questions off camera, and I want you to know that I know two of the questions. Outside of that, I don't know any of the questions, so all this is going to be very organic, off the cuff, in the moment. So here we go. Okay, Jack, how are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for being here with me. I'm so excited that, that you're going to be on the podcast with me, even if all we hear is your voice. I'm just so happy to have you here. Okay, so 10 things to know about Ajna Flowers. Okay, Jack, ask away.
Where do you come from?
Well, do you mean in the whole huge big picture, or where did I originate in this lifetime?
This life.
Okay, so I was born in Hamilton, Montana, and I was raised in Corvallis, Montana. I graduated from high school there, and a week later I got married, moved to Virginia, which then led to a life of, I was married to a serviceman, and he was stationed in Norfolk, Virginia, Eureka, California, and Clearwater, Florida. So I have been a lot of places, but my origins are Corvallis, Montana. Hey,
What is our story? How did we meet? When? All the good juices.
well, Jack and I met in 2008 when my second husband and I had gotten divorced, but we're still living together. And he had told me I needed to go find a job and that I should go check about delivering pizzas. So I went in and walked into this pizza place, and I walked up to the counter, and this person was tossing dough when I walked up. And they turned around, and these blue eyes just like stared into my soul. And I heard an audible voice that I wasn't sure if it was actually outside of my body. It was so clear. It said, "So this could be a problem." And so I did get the job there, and we did get quite close, closer than we were supposed to, being, employed at the same place. And then we had a falling out and did not speak for 8 years. And then, the stars aligned and we reconnected, and I had actually remarried my second husband, and it had not gotten any better. He was a very good boyfriend, just not a good husband. Just just had very cruel intentions behind everything that he did. And so I was at a place where I really didn't feel like I had any other option but to just, remove myself permanently from all situations. And Jack came to my rescue, swooped me up, and showed me what it was like to actually have somebody love me for who I was and not expect anything other than me doing my very best to stay alive. Honestly, that's the expectation that he has for me. And obviously, to stay faithful, because obviously that would not be something that we would want to have be part of this amazingness that we have. Um, So yeah, so that's kind of a little bit of, our origins.
Okay. What are your best and worst memories from your life? And why are they those?
Well, I'm going to say that the worst is what I touched on last week, getting my tongue stuck to the railing at the church. And so that was a very bad memory. My very best memory. What is my very best memory? Wow, that's a hard one because I have a lot of really best memories. Um, One of my very best favorite memories is when Jack and I went up to the hockey rink and put flyers for the pizza place on vehicles and just we listened to Pink on the way up there and just it was amazing. And that was at the very beginning. Pretty new into my employment there. So, I was very nervous and felt kind of stupid every time I said something because he has such a sarcastic personality that I would be like, "Oh, why? Why did you even open your mouth?"
What is your biggest fear and why is it your biggest fear? And if you did overcome it, how did you overcome it? There's a lot in that one.
There is a lot in that one. My biggest fear. I think probably at this point my biggest fear that I still feel like I need to conquer because I do feel like fear is an illusion and that we oftentimes, think about things, we overthink about things before we do them and then we talk ourselves out of doing them. So I would say the only fear that I think probably is still really prevalent, really, really prevalent in my life would be heights. And my goal at some point is to jump off the stratosphere in Vegas. So that is a goal. I don't know if it's a bucket list thing, but I do feel like it is definitely a way for me to overcome the fear of heights or decide that I will never jump off something high again.
What is your favorite thing to do for fun? Outside of just hanging out with me.
Well, that is honestly just I was just hanging out. I read something that said it was like four things that show that a couple has a healthy relationship. And um one of them was they are content being bored together. And I would say that is the perfect description of mine and Jack's relationship. I mean, we have a blast and we're not boring, but there are very boring times in life. So you want to have somebody that if you don't feel like talking or don't feel like whatever, doing anything, that is somebody that you still can just sit there and just do absolutely nothing, not even talk, but still just have that comfortable feeling of knowing that all is well. Yeah? Is that good? Was that a good answer, Jack?
Well, I said outside of me.
Oh, did I not say anything else? Oh, shoot. I was going to say it. Sorry. I had to. That was a rabbit trail. Okay, now back on to. Um, ask me the question again.
Favorite thing to do?
I love to decorate. I love to decorate my home. I love to decorate other people's homes. I love to take something ordinary and turn it into something that people are just like, wow, how did you even come up with that? And I don't know. There were times during the remodeling of this fairy tale cottage that I would come up with an idea, and on the way home to do it, I would just be out loud saying, "That is brilliant. I don't know where you came up with that, but that is brilliant." There, was that it? Was that a better answer?
If money is no object, what is your absolute dream job?
Podcasting. This is what I want to do. This I did not ever know that until I started doing this, and the universe really, prompted me. And when I said to the universe, okay, let's do it, I'm ready, it was like the universe is like, okay, hold on, because here we go. This is at this point in my life, and I don't see it changing because I feel like I will never not want to share what I'm learning and what I've learned. And I will always want to have guests that talk about their life and their joys and their struggles. So, yeah, the podcast, that is my dream job. And whether I have unlimited money or not, this this will be what I do, regardless.
What are your dreams and aspirations for life in general?
Hmm. That's a really hard one because I've never really had anything that felt like it was like, oh my gosh, I have to do this. So I don't know because at this point, with everything that's gone on in my life and me learning how to be as nurturing to myself as I have been to everyone else and some people way more than I should have been, um, I don't I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna see what the universe opens up for me. I'm just going to persist in existing in a place of calmness in all situations and allow the universe to do what the universe does for my best interest and my highest good.
Why did you decide to embark on this particular journey?
Well, I had been very disillusioned with organized religion. um, and it just felt like I was always searching for something outside of myself, looking for something to fill something inside me. And as I got started getting older and started kind of questioning the things that I just believed just because that was, what I was taught to believe, that maybe those things weren't necessarily what my soul truly believed. So I decided just to start really looking into spirituality outside of the realm of religion or organized religion and start looking inside myself because even the Bible talks about that is where it is. It's inside us. That's where we find it. And so if we are looking anywhere other than in here, we're always going to be searching for something. So I just had gotten to the place where I'm like, I I can't be any worse off by looking into this than I am now, completely disillusioned and so disappointed and heartbroken by organized religion. So I started the journey, and it just, once you start it and you decide that this is what you're going to start looking at, the universe just starts opening up different doors, and people start showing up that you never met, that open up courses for you to take or meditations. And it just ended up just evolving into now what has become the Flowers and the Wyld podcast.
How did you choose your magical name?
Well, when Jack was out on the road driving truck, I was out on the road with him, and I started drawing these flowers that had an eye in the center. And I called them Ajna flowers because Ajna is third eye. And so I started calling them Ajna flowers. And then I started making wind chimes and I called them Ajna flowers wind chimes. And then that went into Ajna flowers sun glimmers. And then I was thinking, I wonder what the universe's name for me would be. And it was like just like a light bulb. Ajna flowers. That's why you started drawing those flowers. That's why you had that as your business. That's why it is now who you are. It's who you're becoming. And it's who you will be now. Because that is who the universe has purposed you to be.
Last question. What are the biggest changes that you have seen since your awakening?
In myself.
Yes.
Well, I think the biggest change, and Jack, you can probably agree with me on this, is that I don't get upset like I used to.
Right.
I really am able to keep myself together in pretty much every situation. And when I don't, I just sing my song. There are times that I'll just be like, I just need everything to just work out at this moment, and then I'm like, nope, I'm going to breathe. I need to breathe. And so that is something that I now catch it before I go into that place that I used to go automatically. That my default in my brain now is to start singing a song or talking about how silly this frustrating situation is, or whatever it is. That is my default now. That has been completely reset in my brain. Because actually, I was looking for something earlier today. I started feeling myself getting frustrated. And I stopped and I said out loud to myself, this is not worth getting upset about. So, take a breath, calm down, because this is not worth ruining this vibe that you are vibing at right now. So, and I did. I took a breath. I found what I was looking for. And here we are. So I would say that has been the most significant change that I have noticed. I'm sure there are other changes that aren't as obvious to me that have happened. Jack, are there anything? Is there anything that you've noticed, particularly from, let's say, when we got back together in 2017, when we got married in 2017 and started out on the road together?
You're much more level-headed.
Okay.
Really is really the biggest.
Okay. And it, give an example of where I
Well,
was.
it's like what you just said. I mean, you don't lose your mind over.
I don't lose my shit. I really don't anymore. So I don't know. I just feel like that has been and it's helped so much because I don't ever have to feel bad about how I reacted in a situation if I am always in a place of calm. Because I will never feel like I did something wrong if I stay calm in all situations. So anyway, I want to thank you, Jack, for being here with me today.
Thank you.
Thank you
Enjoyed it.
so much. I enjoyed it too. And I want to thank you all for being here with us on The Flowers in the Wild. I am your host, Ajna Flowers, and we look forward to seeing you next time.